So we've come back to Bruntingthorpe to see the October International Living History Fair. We were expecting to see some World War One, World War Two stuff, but it would seem that's lacking again today. We're looking at a range from the Middle Ages, I guess we could say, up to sort of mid-Victorian period. There seems to be quite a lot of clothing, armour, weaponry, information, also some musical instruments and interesting things like that on sale. Right, we'll go and see who we can have a chat with. I'm back here with Dave Allen of Pike and Shot, who's the organiser of the International Living History Fair. Hello, Dave.
Good afternoon. We've already had numerous people, including many of the major museums through the door. Our other major event of the year is currently the International Napoleonic Fair. But we're now currently working with a group called Waterloo 200, who are backed by the government. The chap in charge of it, I believe, is now reinstating the Royal Tournament. So we're hopeful to get some movement on that, and next year perhaps reintegrate the fair into a very, very large Napoleonic event in the middle of the country on the M4 corridor. But we do a My Boy Jack World War One event, becoming very popular and will get very big over the next 4 years.
Yes, absolutely.
First weekend in August. And we're now doing Kipling's Empire, which is Kipling's life before he lived at Bateman's, when he became a writer and did a lot of newspaper items, and indeed used cameras like yourselves to record things that were going on in places like India, the Western Front, Afghanistan, all kinds of places. We're now including Africa and the Zulu campaigns as well. We're trying to push the boundaries of time that we cover. We have gone back in time.
Yes, we noticed that. We seem to be, well, we're feeling very modern today.
Yes, well, the Iron Age, Bronze Age and even Stone Age. But we're now trying to go the opposite direction. World War One, we're almost there. By February, we hope that we'll get some of the major unit commanders to come along, and people that can do uniforms at least. But we're still looking for Edwardian, Victorian, between the wars, 1920s, 30s, your period, Prohibition. We can even supply you with some beer. Of course, it will come in legal quantities, but also the possibility of pushing it borders to World War II. Sorry.
Yeah.
But here we have a private jet collection, which could push it to the Korean Wars, and then we may look at a multi-period event in the summer with this fair, and perhaps even a runway display with live aircraft. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dave.
Nice to see you once again.
See you next time.
Thank you.
I'm here with Paul and Sherry from Farthingale Historical Hats. I was automatically drawn to the stall because they're just absolutely beautiful. Can you tell me how you got into making the hats?
Well, my wife wanted basically a hat to make for her to go with her costume. Couldn't find any anywhere, so she decided to make her own. And it started from there, really. And it's grown into hats galore.
Yeah. So what sort of eras do you represent?
I start mainly at Georgian, and I go through Regency to Victorian is my main sort of hats that I like.
What's your favourite to make?
I like Regency ones, as you can see.
Yes. What have you found has been the most popular style?
Well, we live in Bath, so we have a lot of Jane Austen fans come there.
Yeah, it's starting to become quite interesting now that steampunk's starting to get in as well, and that's a lot of people are asking about that Gothic and the steampunk, the Asylum.
Are there any particular sort of embellishments or anything you're particular fans of?
Well, I like to use vintage pieces anyway, so the feathers that I use usually I collect from sort of from markets and on the internet, and I like to use like the buckles and brooches that are all individual pieces, so my hats are never have two exactly the same.
They're always bespoke, so we try and make them to the customer as well, so head size, colours, try and match their costumes and their outfits.
Are you at any other fairs sort of in the next few months?
Well, we've just kind of started up really, going around to different fairs and things, so we'll be back here in February, and then we're looking at some other events to get to next year.
Yeah, I'm going to try Kelmarsh
and some of the
steampunk ones, hopefully.
Yeah, there do seem to be a lot more sort of popping up around the country. Okay, well, thank you very much for talking to us.
So that's a pleasure.
Maybe see you next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now is Paul, who is the commanding officer, you said?
Of Colonel John Fox's regiment, part of the Fairfax Battalion
Thank you
of the
very
Roundhead
much for that.
Association of the
Okay.
English Civil War Society.
Right. So now, a lot of our viewers may not be particularly familiar with that period of history, but obviously there was an English Civil War,
Yep.
which went on for, was it about 15 years?
1642 to 1651,
Ah,
effectively.
right. Okay.
After which you then had the period called the Interregnum, which is when the Commonwealth was formed and run by Parliament.
Oh, is that the birth of the Commonwealth at that point?
Yeah, absolutely, the Commonwealth of Nations. Yeah.
Ah. So if someone thinks this might be a bit of a laugh, if you could just run through then, what is it to be involved with Civil War reenactment?
The main things that we would be looking for, that we would say that you need to enjoy Civil War reenactment, is a sense of fun, sense of community, an interest in history, although I would say you don't need to know really anything about the period of history. Reenactment is probably the best way to learn about history going on. Apart from that, bring yourself along to an event sometime. We can provide all of the historic kit that you need. The first event would be free. We provide all the training and assistance that you'd possibly need. We're a friendly bunch of people.
Hopefully a few of our viewers might be interested and maybe come and join up with you.
Absolutely, we would be more than welcome to join them.
Now I was going to say taking the King's shilling, but
oh
you're
no,
on the wrong side
no,
for that,
absolutely
aren't you?
not. Taking the King's shilling. Oh no, come fight for the Commonwealth and the wealth of the health and beauty of our men.
Splendid. Okay, thank you very much then.
Thank
Paul.
you.
Excellent. Thank you.
I'm here with Captain Bellinger of Steampunk Engineering. Could you tell us a little bit about what you make?
Certainly. Between my wife and myself, we basically have two arms for the steampunk side of things, which is the jewellery, which is on the lower edge, and the mad science, I think, is probably the best way to put it, on the top surface. We make everything ourselves that we sell, and where we can, we make it by hand and repurpose old pieces that we find in unusual places.
What sort of places are you finding these?
We're inveterate car booters for a start. We visit as many car boots as we can. Sometimes the owner even knows about it. Antique fairs, second-hand shops, all of that sort of thing, where old and dusty equipment such as your camera will turn up and can be reused in the modern world rather than just discarded. Yeah. I also have a line in repairing timepieces, amateur horologist.
Okay.
So what we generally do is, if I can't make a timepiece tell the time correctly, it goes into the jewellery making box. So we are proud to say that there are no timepieces have been harmed in the making of this jewellery.
That's good. You're ashamed to waste a good watch. Can you tell me what have you found to be the most popular item that you make?
One of the problems is we don't make two of the same thing ever. So we can't point to a piece of jewellery and say that's the most popular, because there isn't another one like that. Although the necklaces themselves are probably the most popular. Some of the more elaborate ones for ladies' evening wear, where it will cover an entire décolletage.
Oh wow, okay.
So, they're so popular that we haven't any here at the moment because they take time to make.
Yeah, they sound brilliant. Have you been at any other fairs, or have you got any other fairs coming up apart from
this is the last fair of this type.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.